Toki mai anō. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel for the second time today. I apologise if I look like a hot mess. I feel like a hot mess. I have been out in the sun and the wind all morning with the horses. They all had their teeth done. Yearly dental checkup, and Bramble behaved herself very well, thankfully, and no dramas with her teeth, so that was awesome. But I'm hot and sweaty and feel like a bit of a wreck. Anyway, I wanted to show you some witchy crafts that I have been working on, and as well as being an absolute gardening fiend and loving, you know, creating in my garden and all that kind of thing, I also really love doing a variety of different crafts. In fact, one I've picked back up that I did years ago, and I wanted to show you what I have been working on. Now, some are for my actual spiritual practice, and some are just sort of decor items for my home. And I'm going to share a link to some free downloads that you can print off and do your own crafty thing. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, crafting is just, it's a huge part of my life and my spiritual practice, really. I'm a firm believer in creating as much as you can for, you know, altar decorations and that sort of thing yourself. I'm much more into, you know, natural kind of decorations and nature finds and things like that, as opposed to brought, you know, items that are mass produced and that every other Tom, Dick and Harry have. I'm much more into unique items and things that I have created with my own two hands, even better. So I think it just adds more of a connection for me anyway, personally. So I have a really sore back. Yeah, so anyway, I'm going to show you what I have been working on, and if you are also someone that does crafting, witchy crafting, then please do a video response, because I love seeing what other witches create. And it doesn't even matter if you think you suck at it. Like, it doesn't matter, as long as you're actually being creative. That is the most important thing. So let me just get a bit more comfortable here. Okay, so the first thing is actually, it's really simple, and I didn't make this entire thing from scratch, obviously, but it is a little pentacle board. So the actual board itself is just a chopping board that I got really cheap from the warehouse here, if you live in NZ, and I wanted something that I could charge things on, and, you know, like even craft things on as well if I'm making oils or incense blends or things like that. I just wanted something a little bit more magical, a little bit more witchy. So I brought the board from the warehouse. It was pretty cheap, and then I just printed off a pentacle. I actually printed it. I don't know if you're going to be able to see all that well because of the glare, but I printed it on some craft paper, scrapbooking paper that I liked, and I just printed this off on my laser printer and stuck a couple of little embellishments on, and there's a little raven skull up here. This hangs up too, and then I coated the whole thing in polyurethane, in really hard varnish, and I think I put like 3 coats on it, so it's really durable and it's easy to wipe off as well, and it protects this print. So I just printed it out and then just literally cut around the pentacle. So I love it. I want to make more of them, but I don't have use for any more than one, really. But it was just something, it was a bit of an experiment, really, just to see what it looked like, and I'm really thrilled with how it turned out. And you could get really creative, because you guys in America and England get far better craft supplies than we can ever get in New Zealand, because it's New Zealand, and you know, enough said. So anyway, I made that ages ago. I just wanted to show you. The other thing that I have to keep remembering to look at the camera lens instead of straight on. Sorry, but I knew I'm distracting myself. So the other thing that I have been doing lately is cross stitch. Now, I used to do cross stitch years and years ago, probably 10 odd years ago, and I got into doing cross stitch because my grandmother was really talented with any sort of needlework. She did all different sorts of embroidery, she did lace making, I have some cross stitch here that she did and gave to me and my sister as gifts, quite large ones. Oh my god, what else did she do? She did beautiful crochet, she did beautiful knitting, she was a very accomplished, talented sewer. She had the most beautiful English garden that you have ever seen in your entire life, which is probably where I get some of my, or quite a bit actually, of my gardening passion from. She was one of those ladies who prided herself on a beautifully kept, immaculate home, and it was full of the most beautiful handicrafts. And she died a few years ago at the ripe old age of 96. We used to call her the Queen Mother, actually. She was very proper. Like, you would, when you went over there for a visit, you would get a cup of tea and it would be in English bone china with a saucer, with a teapot, with a hand-knitted tea cozy, with floral bone English china plates, and all the baking was homemade, and you'd leave clutching armloads of lemons off the lemon tree and vegetables and flowers from her garden. She had the most beautiful dahlia and rose garden. She was a very gracious lady. Anyway, I got my love of cross stitch from her, and because she had a house, and her house was full of the most beautiful cross stitch, and hers was all very floral orientated, whereas mine's not quite in the same vein. Mine is, is that recording? Yes. I was like, shit, is that recording? Mine is very much witchy gothic themed. So I went looking over here in my mouth. I went looking online and I found a heap of fantastic downloadable you know, patterns from Etsy that I have my eye on. But before I invested in any of them, I wanted to do some, see if there were any sort of freebies that I could do first, just to kind of get back into doing it. And also, I was at the thrift shop and I found a couple of mini kits for like $1. And this was one of them, and this was the first one that I did. I didn't bring the other ones in, but this was the first one that I did. It is this little mini house. I don't know, hopefully the glare is not too bad. I love miniature cross stitch as well. I've actually kept the pattern of this, and I'm thinking I might do it in a more of a gothic style with like black and stuff. But so this was the first one that I did, and it got me hooked right back in again. The frame is also from the thrift shop that I painted, so I love that. So I'm going to actually put a link to these free downloads that I found, so you can also print them off and do these cross stitches, these other ones that I'm going to show you, if you want. You do, like, the pattern's free. You just obviously need to buy your material, so your cloth and your thread, but the pattern and everything is all free. So the next one that I did is this one. This didn't take me very long at all, and I think this would be perfectly fine for a beginner to do. Now this frame is again from the thrift shop. I think I actually showed it in a haul as well. It was gold, and I was like, no, I'm not a gold person. This one didn't take long at all, and I think it's, ooh, the colour changes. I think it's just really cute, and yeah, I think a beginner could do this one easily as well. I'm also going to be putting a link in the description bar to some beginner videos that I kind of refreshed myself with when I got back into doing cross stitch. There's a channel that has got great beginner videos to sort of learn the basics of cross stitch, so I will make sure that I put that as well. So that was the other one that I did. This one is quite possibly my favourite. This one took me a little bit longer. This was again a free a download. I've named him Barnabas because he just looks like a Barnabas. Isn't he cool? You know, the longest bit of this to actually do was the border around the outside, the black and white border, but I absolutely love it, and I love the wee little orange bat at the top. But he sits up in my hallway, and he's awesome. And again, thrifted frame, just painted, and yeah, absolutely love him. I really loved stitching him. It was a lot of fun, and something nice to do on long winter nights for you guys on the other side of the world. This one I just finished the other day. It's not sitting in the frame as well as it should be, but I'm not a framer, so this again from the same website, another free printable. Now I actually mucked this up quite a bit. The candle is supposed to have a pentagram in the middle of it, and I couldn't seem to get the back stitching right, And then these symbols down here I screwed up as well. And in fact, that bottom symbol, I added that in because I screwed up the other ones, and I was like, oh, I'll just add that in. So this isn't actually true to the original, but it looks fine. And I have this one hanging in my witchy room. This one again was quite a lot of fun to stitch. I really did enjoy this one. I have another 3, I think, from this website to do. Again, thrifted frame. I very rarely buy frames brand new. I go and get unusual frames and just paint them up and sort of goth them up a little bit, and that's what I use to all sorts of manner of things, cross stitch now, but also taxidermy and all sorts. So that's that one. And then this one I did on, what's today, Monday. This one I did on Saturday because it was hot on Saturday and I just could not get out into the garden. So I just sat, turned the aircon on, watched some true crime videos. Eleanor Neal, absolutely love her channel. And I stitched this little guy. And he didn't take me all that long, just an afternoon, but he is gorgeous and I love him. And I am now on the hunt for a little frame from the thrift shop so I can put him in. But yeah, very cute. I'm going to put him in my bathroom in a little frame. So I actually can't remember where I got this free download from. I don't know if I'll be able to put, if I find it, I'll stick it in the description. But if not, then I'm sure you could probably go hunting for it. But yeah, so he's cool. So that's that. And the other thing that I have been doing lately is working with clay. Now, I love working with air dry clay. I can't say that I'm fantastic at it, but I really enjoy the process and I really enjoy creating little bits and pieces. I have other things that I've created that I'm not actually going to show in this video because I just can't be bothered actually getting them all down. But they're all sort of hung up. But I'll do a witchy room tour at some stage and you'll see them then. But yeah, air dry clay. I love creating little bits and pieces with clay and it's cheap to buy. I have made a few little bits and bobs in the past with oven baked clay and Sculpey. I think that's what it's called. That's really expensive here. So I just tend to buy the, I think it's called DAS, the air dry clay, and just create stuff with that. And I really enjoy it. So I have been making little toadstools. This is all just, again, air dry clay. Oh my god, I really need a seat in here because my back gets sore sitting on the floor. Anyway, yeah, just air dry clay, just painted them and varnished them, and these are actually on my seasonal altar, which is all set for Beltane and summer. So I made 3. Hopefully you can see those, but yeah, they were fun to create just at night time, sitting and just, you know, mucking around with clay. I also, let me see, this is a thrifted find. Well, this vessel is a thrifted find. This was gold and I painted it black, this entire thing. But how cool is that? It's so Victorian Gothic, isn't it? But I turned this into a little terrarium, and you see, and so the little toadstools I made myself out of the dry clay, and the wee flowers as well. The little fairy I already had, and the moss I got from the horse paddock. Yeah, so it's amazing what you can make with clay. I absolutely love it. So toadstools, been busy mucking around with them. I also made a couple of little raven skulls. This one sits on my, I don't know if you can see, on my seasonal altar. And this one is on Morrigan's altar. I was just kind of playing around. I had a silicone mould. I didn't sculpt this by hand because I'm not that good, but I had a silicone mould and I thought, I wonder if I could put that in a mould, and it worked really well. So yeah, so that was just a bit of an experiment, but now I'm like, the possibilities. So I made them, and I also made a couple of bowls. This one I made quite a wee while ago, and this always sits on my seasonal altar in the autumn when it's changed up for autumn. So this is actually a leaf. I used a leaf as the template for that. I can't remember what leaf this is off. can't remember. It might be wild marshmallow or something, but yeah. So I just kind of, I actually used a rolling pin and rolled the leaf into the air dry clay, and then kind of cut around it, and it picked up all the veins and everything, and then I sort of set it in a dish so it you know, is like a bowl, and then painted it. These are quite easy to make. There's heaps of tutorials on YouTube on how to make these, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how that turned out, and I will definitely be making more. And they're surprisingly sturdy as well. Like, it's not fragile at all. And the other bowl that I have made recently, and I made this one for Morrigan's altar because it's really important that I have homemade, handcrafted things on my altar for not just my seasonal altar, but for my deity as well. I find that I just have a deeper connection, and I just feel that it's really important. But I made this little bowl, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see all that well, but round the sort of up there, that's a little mini raven cookie cutter that I used. I ordered it for soap making for when I muck around with soap dough, and I was like, well, that's actually way too small for what I wanted it for. I got the measurements completely wrong, so I'm probably going to be ordering another one of those. But I put 4 around there, and just kind of stuck that on, and then I have a bird in the middle, and this is sort of painted in sort of a dark maroon with a gold through it, and I'm thrilled with how this turned out. I'm really pleased with this. So again, I painted it, and then I actually varnished it, and this is really quite tough as well. And the little bird in the middle is actually from I can't think what the hell it's called, fondant, like a plunger cutter. I have heaps of them that I use for my soap making and my soap dough. And I was like, I might just try that, and it worked brilliantly. So yeah, so that is what I have been doing lately in the way of crafting. I would love to learn to crochet, but I'm one of those people that I actually learn from someone sitting explaining things to me. I actually struggle to learn from actually watching like just a tutorial. I much easier learn from someone like, this is what you do. So crochet just looks so complicated to me, but I really love to give it a go. I'll see how I go. I did used to do knitting, but I've completely forgotten how to knit now. But I have thought in the past, like, I would love to be able to knit just something basic like scarves and arm warmers and things like that, but we'll see. Anyway, so I'm going to leave it there because my back's and my bum has gone to sleep. And yeah, like I said, if you do crafting, then do a video response and show me some of the things that you have been working on, because I love things like that. I love handcrafted stuff, anything, but especially handcrafted witchy items for altars and whatnot. I just love it. I just think that it's such a nice way to, I don't know, to deepen your connection. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you for watching. I am going to go, and yeah, I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye.